right? So we've moved from 2D to 3D with this video, and then we're going to round out 3D in the next video, and I think that's it for this chapter. I don't know. I may be lying to you. You'll find out, and so will I. But in this video, this lesson, we're going to talk about volume. This is honestly probably going to be even shorter than the last one, because even though we're adding an entire dimension, we don't add a lot as far as formulas. Let me show you what I mean. So we're talking about 3D shapes. We're only going to be talking about the volume of two different kinds of shapes. First one is prisms, okay, and the next one is spoilers. We'll see what happens, but I'll give you a little bit of spoiler in that the formula is pretty much the same for the second type as it is for this first type. Okay, so prisms. What are prisms? Well, prisms are 3D shapes with the same shape on both sides. So they can be there's all kinds of different prisms. I kind of put a smattering of different shapes here. This would be like a rectangular prism because we got rectangular bases, right? Excuse me. This would be a triangular prism because it has triangles for bases, right? This would be a hexagonal prism. So you could have whatever shape on the base for the two bases, right? And you name the prism that way. So to find the area of any prism, whatever else it is, what we do is we do big B times H. Okay? So what is big B, right? So that's we got to define that there. Excuse me. So big B is the area of the base of the base. Okay? So just one of the bases, right? It's going to be the same, right? So if we're talking about a rectangular prism, we would find the area of this rectangle. So how do we do that? Length times width. Okay, then the height. Now the height is this other side. So the height would be all of these, right? So those would be the heights. Even if you turn it on its side and we had like a hexagonal prism that was something like, draw a rough sketch here, something like this, right? Where it is the hexagon is laying on its side, something along those lines. And where we've got that sort of a shape, something like that, and then I don't know, I messed it up. I ended up with more sides than I needed. Yeah, you get it. Anyway, even if it's lying on its side, the base would be these flats, right? These flat sides there, right? So even if it's laying on its side, we're finding the area of the base times the height, and then like in this case, the height would be sideways because it's a hexagonal prism turned sideways, right? So that can be a little bit tricky if they present that way. Excuse me, but other than that, it's really straightforward. So like I was back to this would be length times width times height. This one would be 1/2 of little b times little other h, the height of the triangle, times the height, right? So you just find the area of this triangle and then multiply that times the height. Same thing here. Now this one, as far as formulas are concerned, we'd probably have to split it up like into a couple of triangles and a rectangle or something, and we find the area of this one and that one and add them together and then multiply that times the height. Something like that. I more wanted to put this one in here just to kind of further illustrate what a prism was. And so that's it. To find the volume of a prism, you find the area of its base, multiply that times the height of the prism. So I said the next one is really similar. It's almost the exact same idea. In fact, it pretty much is the exact same idea, but it's a cylinder, right? So the only thing different is kind of like where we have a fancy word for the perimeter of a circle. We have kind of it's really the same thing. Really, we're doing the exact same thing. We're going to find the area of the base. Now, the area in this case is a circle. So we've got circles on the bottom and circles on the top. So area of the base, so big B times H, right? Now, this one, though, because there's only one kind of cylinder, usually what we do is we go ahead and write this in its entirety with the area of the base in there. So the area of a cylinder we typically would write as pi r squared h, which is really the exact same thing, right? Where h is the height of the cylinder. So we're finding the area of the base times the height. It's the exact same thing. And that is all there is to volume. It's really straightforward. With these shapes, it gets a little more complicated when we start talking about shapes like pyramids and we start smushing shapes and whatever else. But for now, the thing that we want to remember how to do is just these couple of simple, really simple shapes. So there it is. That's it. If you're in my class, see you in class. Do your homework, all the things. If not, thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.